Hey, yeah, what's poppin', gang? All right, man, we back. What's good? It's Friday, man. We made it through the week. Thank y'all so much for rocking with your boy. As always, man, I really appreciate all of the love. Y'all have literally been cutting up, bro. I gotta say thank you to all of the new members. In the beginning of this video, man, thank you to all the new members. I've been seeing a lot more members joining. Thank you to everybody who's been subscribing to the channel. I've been saying at the beginning of the videos, man, only 60% of y'all that actually watch my videos are subscribed. So I've been really seeing a difference in that, man. I really appreciate y'all so much for just hitting that sub button, liking the videos. Y'all been tagging me and hyping the videos and all that, man. I just can't say thank you enough for all of your support. I really appreciate it. All right, we back into it, man. You know what we got to do. You know we got to get into this, man. So Kendrick Lamar and SZA shattered the record for the highest grossing hip hop tour. Now, I don't want to say the craziest thing, but a lot of you guys actually found my channel throughout the GNX tour. I was unfortunately unable to go, but a lot of you guys actually found my channel throughout the GNX tour because I was reporting typically the day after the shows would happen. I would report on anything significant that happened. Obviously, we were trying to figure out what was going on with the GNX and all that stuff, and just reporting on all of the different numbers and the different records that were being broken at the time. So this is really on par. Basically, this is on par. Kendrick Lamar and SZA shattered the record for the highest grossing hip hop tour. But y'all know, with anything positive, there's typically something negative that's gonna come along with it. And it's kind of sad that it happens, but every time it happens, we will call it out. We will discuss it here, man. So a lot of you guys may know what I'm talking about, but just stick around just in case you don't, all right? So Kendrick Lamar and SZA shattered the record for the highest grossing hip hop tour. This was published yesterday. And the crazy thing is, with the way that they were doing numbers, I think we kind of anticipated this. There were 20 some odd dates in the US. And then I think there was another maybe 10 to 15 dates overseas. I don't know if they're counting overseas at all, but at least within the US, this number has already been broken, you know. So Kendrick Lamar and SZA's Grand National Tour has reportedly raked in more than 332.1 million since April. Do y'all realize how much money that is? Now, again, obviously, I know a lot of that goes to production costs. This isn't. I don't. Does this count merch? Does this count merch? Is this just ticket sales? If this is just ticket sales, the merch takes this over maybe 400 million, maybe 450. And the reason I say that is because we was looking at TikTok videos where people were spending bags on just merch. You talking about not one person buying one item for, I think the hoodie was $100 or something like that, $120 or something like that. You talking about the hoodies, you talking about the t-shirts, you talking about the, the records, all of the different things that they had available. So I'm not sure if this includes merch. If it doesn't, I would say shit, maybe even like $500 million. I don't know. It's been several months since Kendrick Lamar and SZA embarked on their co-headlining Grand National Tour, and now they have yet another impressive accomplishment to celebrate, per Kirko. The tour has become the highest grossing hip hop tour of all time, and there's still more shows to come. Reportedly, it's managed to rake in more than a staggering $332.1 million so far. This is far from the first exciting milestone the Luther artists have reached in recent months. However, they broke records immediately. Right, I remember, was in Minneapolis. They broke records immediately upon kicking off the tour with a performance in Minneapolis, Minnesota in April. It keeps jumping. Y'all see that? The show what is happening here? The show because of the highest grossing hip hop. The show became the show because the highest grossing hip hop show in history, grossing over $9.1 million. And then after that, they was doing $11 million. I think they might have got up to $16 million. I'm not really sure. I have to go back and look at some of my videos. But they were doing crazy numbers at these stops. To a whopping 47,354 supporters. The Grand National Tour is scheduled to close on December 14th, following shows in Melbourne, Ballarat, Perth, Sydney, and more. So they still have their Australian leg to get to. So this can't be including anything that they've done overseas because it's not even done yet. SZA will not join Kendrick for the Australian leg of the tour, though it will feature Schoolboy Q as a supporting act, which is dope. So then this is just the post. Kendrick Lamar and SZA's Grand National Tour is now the highest grossing hip hop tour of all time, surpassing 332.1 million with only 34 of 47 shows reported. 34 of 47. There's 13 shows missing here. So again, I definitely think that has to be the overseas stuff. The tour has been a massive success so far, but it hasn't come without its downside. SZA, for example, has received some backlash for her decision to include Rich Baby Daddy on her set list. Despite Kendrick's feud with Drake, she defended her decision to do so during an interview with GQ published earlier this month. Why wouldn't I? Poetic Justice was in the set list, so why wouldn't I keep Rich Baby Daddy? I know people were kind of upset with, I don't know if this is her entire statement. We're kind of upset with what she said because she didn't necessarily, I guess I honestly I didn't listen to it. So I can't even speak. So I got to see what she said. I don't know why I wouldn't be celebrating some shit that I ate up. SZA went on to discuss the beef as a whole and why she chose not to get involved. It was something between, okay, here it is. It was something between two grown-ass men, so why would I insert myself between something between two grown-ass men? You know, she asked. And I feel like that's how everybody felt, with the exception of people who didn't feel that way. I didn't really have any stake, per se. Obviously, I love Kendrick. I'm signed to TDE. That's my family. Obviously, I've known Drake for so long, and we have a beautiful rapport. And obviously, it's always unfortunate when the unfortunate occurs. So, I mean, listen, man, I could see how some people probably could have taken that as like, that sounds weird when you say I don't have a stake in it, because y'all are ex-label mates, and the TDE family is so strong. I think this is just a person saying, basically, bro, I have nothing to do with that. Keep me out of that. That's between two grown men. And then I also think it's kind of, it's okay to step back when you know they looking for something for you to say to get clicks off of you, one. And two, it gives anybody an upper hand on the other side at all. I choose to stay out of it. I'm not going to say anything that would, you know what I'm saying? You could have definitely came out and said, it's Kendrick all day. You could have, but she didn't. Let me know how y'all feel about that in the comments. If y'all feel like she should have said more or she should have done more. I personally think she basically saying, bro, that's between them. I ain't got nothing to do with that. And I'm cool with it, especially because she mentioned Poetic Justice being in the set list. So why wouldn't I have my own song that I did with Drake in the set list? It's a song that's done very well for me. But like I said in the beginning, right? With everything positive does come negative, something negative. And I did see this pop up. Now I don't know this. I don't even know what to call creator. I don't know this creator. So I'm not trying to, jump on this person particularly, but the comments that were made here, and we're going to look at some of the comments. All I get from this is Kendrick went on a world tour with SZA. So at that point, it sounds like what's happening is she's equating the success not to Kendrick, but to people wanting to see SZA. And I think that was an argument that we saw a lot throughout this entire tour. And there's evidence from both sides, though. Like, I can't even say, like, I've seen some videos where Kendrick is up on stage and people are maybe walking away because Kendrick is on, because she's not on stage. And then I've seen videos where SZA is on stage and people are walking away. I think that's kind of a give and take of what you do when you go on tour with somebody. Some people are strictly there to see you. That's it. And I know there were people strictly there to see SZA. And there were definitely people that were strictly there to see Kendrick that may not know anything about SZA. So it's kind of a give and take thing. And I think that's expected. But there's definitely there was a lot more of that kind of consensus together nature of the concerts where people were there to see both of them and having an incredible time. And I even seen a lot of people saying, you know what, man, I never really dived into Kendrick's music like that, but because he's here with SZA, I got a chance to really listen, and I'm really a fan, and vice versa. And vice versa. A lot of dudes was like, a lot of people, let me say that, a lot of people were saying, you know, I never really dived into SZA's catalog, but now I have to because she has so much talent and I didn't know, right? So that's just to talk about this. He went on a world tour with SZA, performed in stadiums, and still barely surpassed Drake's North American arena numbers. Okay, so they're comparing the stadiums to the arenas. Let's compare NA dates, North American dates. Okay, let's compare North American dates only. Kendrick, 256.4 million with 23 stadium shows. That number is at what, 300 and what was it? 332. That number is at 332. So I don't know if this is, maybe she didn't get this at the right time, but the number is at 332. So it's surpassed what he did with the 23 stadium shows with 1.1 million tickets sold. So Drake did 320.5 million with 80 arena shows and 1.3 million tickets sold. So he sold more tickets, but he did way more work. And we're going to talk about just how much more work he did a little bit later. Now, here's the part nobody talks about. Stadiums average between 50 and 80K capacity. Arenas average 15K to 20K capacity. But here's my thing, even with this, right? This is not, I don't think this is not incorrect information, but I also think you have to talk about ticket prices and things like that. Like, I don't necessarily know how much those tickets were to go to the show, but if I'm not mistaken, it was just Kendrick and SZA. Now, when this concert was happening, I believe there was like Lil Wayne, was Future there too? I think Future was there. Savage might have been there too. Like, there was a lot of different people that you were able to see at these shows, which kind of bolsters that up. They're not just there to see Drake either. Let's keep going. So even with massively bigger venues and similar-ish total tickets sold, Kendrick still couldn't outgross Drake. Drake outperformed him with a smaller venue type and maxed out every arena at 100% demand. So my question is, why wouldn't he do stadiums then? Why wouldn't he do stadiums? Why wouldn't he do stadiums? And no, that he did more shows argument is irrelevant. Even if Kendrick did 80 shows, the demand plus per show performance isn't matching Drake's. The amount of work that had to be done to get what he did is far more than what Kendrick had to do to get his numbers, which we just saw, 332 million. Even when they pull achievements out of their ass for this Make-A-Wish rapper, it never holds up. Okay? So she pulled the numbers here. Okay, now it does say it's 332 million, so I don't know where she got that number from, but they have just Drake, because he didn't necessarily have a cemented co-headliner, but he damn sure had tons of guests come on to help him with those numbers, right? And then here's some of the comments. 23 shows at 250 or 80 shows at 320. 23 shows at 250, which now is 330, excuse me. 23 shows at 330 or 80 at 320. Give me 23 and I can make money, but I can never get my time back, okay? That's something they'll never address. Very well said. Imagine if Drake added his European and Oceania tours. Okay, imagine if Kendrick added the European leg too. Like, relax. Beautifully written. Like, just look at this, bro. You ate that. Okay, thank you. Drake gonna break this demand and we'll be at the next tour in the States. If you subtract the entire police force he had to rent for the Toronto shows, he slides back to second. Okay, sounds like a lot of coping to me. And 11 mil with 13 shows still to be reported isn't barely surpassing anything. Okay, and it's already surpassed that because we've seen the numbers were incorrect. Part-time music listeners, this is what I was gonna get to. Again, with the numbers. Again, even when you're trying to make it fit, they're still only focused on the numbers and not talking about the production value of the show, how the show was presented, how people left feeling like they experienced something that they might never experience again. Okay, and I didn't even go, but I've seen the shows and I've seen Drake shows. It's a lot of you rap. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of you rap for me and I stand back and I walk on stage and they was throwing toilet paper at him. Like, be for real. All right? So, she mad. Anyway, Kendrick Lamar has the highest grossing rap tour of all time with half the amount of shows. And I think it's less than that, not even including anything he did overseas. You wrote that and Kendrick still broke the record and not even all the shows have been reported in yet. I know you have tears in your eyes, of course. So with your high school certificate, you missed the whole 34 shows versus 80. You missed, the show is still going on, making more money, and you missed stadiums versus arena, man. Oh man, education and understanding are two different things. Come on, man. 23 to 80. You're bad at numbers. Basically, if Kendrick did 80 shows, it would have quadrupled the money he's making now. Drake isn't in the same league. If this was a verse, y'all wouldn't let up off Kendrick. And don't forget, co-headline with Cole, Wayne, 21, and probably more people, right? So these are co-headlining acts that I was saying in the beginning. Yeah, he didn't have a cemented co-headliner, but he definitely had guests, right? Drake worked 248% harder to make 25% more revenue. Not the flex y'all think it is. Plus, you can charge more for an arena than a stadium seat, and there's less supply. See, that's kind of what I was saying in the beginning. And again, we wouldn't have to talk about this stuff if they didn't consistently bring up numbers, and we got to try to tell y'all it's not what y'all, stop trying to make it that. It's not that. It's not. But then not only that, so since this news was released, since this news was dropped, that Kendrick and SZA shattered the record for the highest grossing hip hop tour. Since then, Drake, okay, has dropped his booking agent that he shared with Kendrick Lamar. The booking agent, the person that books your shows and makes your shows, sets them up, said, you ain't doing it like that for me, get him out of here. After 10 years, after more than a decade of working together, Drake has cut ties with Brent Smith at Wasserman Music. Drake quietly parted ways with the booking agent he shared with longtime rival Kendrick Lamar earlier this year. Oh, so this was earlier this year. Billboard has learned in a move largely kept quiet to avoid media scrutiny. When did this happen? So it's not indirect result. Let me correct myself. It's not indirect result of hearing about that. It seems like he got rid of him maybe earlier this year before the tour took place or during the tour taking place. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any more information on that. So, but Billboard has learned in a move largely kept quiet to avoid media scrutiny, which is crazy how they were able to keep anything quiet. We found out when this dude was in court for custody or whatever. One source tells Billboard that Drake and former longtime agent Brent Smith of Wasserman Music have not worked together for most, if not all, of 2025, due in part to the fallout over last year's feud. Oh, okay. So that's the first thing that went. And then Kendrick went on to do the highest grossing tour. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. So he part ways with him because of the beef. And then he goes on to have the highest grossing rap tour of all time. You can't make this up, bro. You can't make this up. Let me know how you guys feel about this in the comments, man. I think it's very interesting that the numbers are always something that that they end up talking about and we have to kind of refute. Listen, numbers are numbers. We can see them and we can celebrate them, but we ain't got, listen, Don't try to make it something that it's not, bro. That's all I'm saying. Don't try to make it something that it's not. If Kendrick did the same amount of shows, it would be numbers would be much higher, but he didn't, bro. And let's just leave it at that, man. We ain't got to argue about it. Do me a favor, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hype the videos. Share them. All that good stuff, man. I will see you guys in the next one. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. I'm out. Peace.